as you were talking, I was thinking about singing and what makes one singer so special. And they may not have a great voice. It's not always the voice. And you clarified what it is. It's that they were authentic.
Yes.
They were being themselves. And we don't always appreciate that. I mean, we think there's a certain way to be. And we need to appreciate our own self, our own uniqueness.
It takes everyone, doesn't it? It takes each of us, I think, to be who we really are, to contribute to genuine community making. Not trying to be the way we're supposed to be or like other people, but to find out really who we are and to get in touch with something deeper, which can then become our contribution, including working with our own wounds. I think it's by being in touch with our feelings, being in touch with what those are, gaining more insights about previous beliefs that inhibit us, that we often don't know about. They're held in the body, for example. That allows us to begin to come forward and develop some mastery around what we experienced that was wounding, that we then have the privilege to be able to try to offer other people. I think if we're completely honest, that's a big part of it.
And I've also realized over the years, I once did a review about dance therapy. A book
Great.
that was written about it. And I realized how often people think dance therapy or movement therapy is less valuable than intellectual therapy.
It's a misconception.
And it's actually, you have to know more to be able to tune into that.
You do, because it's not only the words. I remember in my clinical training, in my master's degree, you probably had to do this too back in the day. We had to keep a text. We would tape the whole thing in our training. And I had to write out what exactly did I say and what did the other person say. But nowhere was there room for what were their bodies doing? Were they breathing? Was their skin color changing? Were they pulling back in the chair? Were they saying something and their body was doing the opposite? And so being congruent with what we say and how we express ourselves, is a very important part of the work. And part of what we can do is help people gently realize when they're saying something and their body is saying something else. Because the unconscious is trying to help. It's trying to present material that they don't have access to yet. And so if you can do it in a tender way that feels safe, they can get curious about it instead of thinking, uh-oh, what's my unconscious doing through my body? You can see that, ooh, I feel nervous or ashamed, because often that's what happened. So creating a safe enough, open environment where you can get them interested in it too is often providing a way for them to feel things more deeply and find the connection between their body and their words.
Right. The image that's coming to me is somebody who's saying, I'm not really bothered by this, whatever it is, and he's wringing the pillow that's in front of him.
Grimace, holding in the very powerful jaw, yes, or wringing something, or pulling way back and saying, yes, of course I feel that way. So, and actually I've done some work with the neuroscience people, as more and more of us have in this era of the brain. And what they're saying, roughly, is basically that about 80% of the communication is nonverbal.
Absolutely. We've known that for a long time. But
we sure have. And the guys and some of the women are backing it up with hard science. So that means that the people in the collective are starting to listen. Before we called it intuition, and now we can call it also science. And hopefully intuition and feeling and science can get married. And benefit each other.